Well, today we are honored to talk with Angel Barnett, the CEO of Dream Institute. Thanks for being here, Mom.
Well, daughter, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for asking.
So last time you were here, we talked about Short Creek Dream Center, and we were kind of getting started with Short Creek and the different initiatives that were going on, and you've gone so far from there. We just want an update. What's the community like? What's going on there?
You know, there's so much recovery. The people are so resilient and they're so excited to turn the corner and move on with their lives. And the beauty that the Dream Center offers with the platform of our program, yes, the initial coming into the Dream Center with a safe place to heal, the behavioral health counseling, the equine therapy, the education. Now we're moving into pillar 3 and 4, which is the vocational training, job placement, the hope for independence. Because as you know, we share the love of Jesus through recovery with no strings attached and feeding the hungry and clothing the naked and the things that Jesus would do. That's what the Dream Center does. But we also have to establish the independence. And in establishing independence, that looks like, well, if they're ready to graduate the Dream Center and they leave, what is the probability of them really stumbling and falling? And if they're at an arm's length away from the Dream Center, maybe transitional housing, really that is our next step. A controlled, I mean, you know what rent is like right now.
It's crazy.
It's out of control, and people really are finding themselves in trauma just from the economic inflation. So how do we as the Dream Center alleviate their next step? And we want to have transitional housing, maybe a home that has rooms for 4 women. Maybe 4 women and their children manage a house and they share the cooking. Maybe they're not ready to be completely on their own because the culture in which they came from did not allow them to have all the skills and diversity that a mother would normally have. She can clean, she can cook, she can educate the children.
Right.
So they're ready to be out of the Dream Center, but not ready to be just the umbilical cord cut and on their own. So our transitional housing is a really exciting next step need that we have. And for the community, a daycare.
Oh, wow.
A daycare that is a high-rated, really protecting the background check of the people working there. It's also a job opportunity for the women to get trained within daycare and have that. Because if we create jobs in the community and a place for them to live and we don't have a place for their children, a safe place to be cared for, then we've created maybe another problem. So we have to think full circle, 360 degrees, how we recover people.
You're literally creating a city. The needs of what we have all been raised in has always just been here. You guys are literally creating it from the ground up. It's crazy.
The social and economic structure that's here in the valley, the Phoenix Valley, does not quite exist up there. They are getting there, and it's really exciting. But that's the fun part of being inclusive, inviting people of all that have businesses, educators. There's room for growth. There's room for people that are like, you know, what does my life mean? I'd love to make a difference in a community. In Colorado City and Hilldale, Utah, we call it Short Creek, is crying out for come be a part. There's no longer those closed doors anymore. And there's room for businessmen and women to come in and say, listen, I would love to start a job opportunity. This would be my dream right now. You know how when you go to the salon, women sit down and they just express, and they're such good friends with the lady doing their hair, or the man getting his hair trimmed and shaved and whatever men do. But I think there would be a great job opportunity. There's no salon up there.
Wow.
The women have never concentrated on what we would call the frivolous things of life, but really it's a healing to be able to go in and care for yourself, but you're connecting with someone. I would love to have a salon. It's jobs and it's connection. I believe we could really heal into people's life in a different way. So that's an idea.
That's a really cool idea. Now, something that jumped out at me is care for yourself. Do they have a way to care for themselves up there? Is there hospitals? Are there dentist. I know you guys just had an amazing outreach. Tell me about that.
You know, Regina Cobb, she's done a great job in initiating the funding for the only clinic that is there, and it's only been up, I think, a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Within that clinic, we were able to hold a 3-day outreach. Joyce Meyer sent her dental team, usually internationally based. They have such a heart for Short Creek. I cannot believe we get Joyce Meyer's attention. And I really believe she sees and identifies personally with the hurt and the wounds that have happened with the women in that community. And so she has given us undivided attention. So to send her dentistry team, they had 3 days, they saw 139 people with 50 some extractions, cleanings, x-rays. And the reason I mentioned the salon is because there was such an intense connection with a person one-on-one. They're sitting in the chair, you're trying to make them laugh because they're nervous about getting their teeth done.
They've never had it done.
They've never had it done. They said there was children with like open nerves. And they said they've never seen a child not flinch. They didn't understand what either training or cultural issue would cause a child not to react to pain.
And it should be very painful.
It was very painful, but the child just did not react. And the smiles and the joy as the people couldn't believe they were out of pain and what that actually felt like. So as they were leaving the clinic, the smiles and the joy that was on their face. So that's just why everyone's skill trade, if you're in the medical field or whatever field, if you can bring that to hurting people, it brings your resources, your skills to the table to make a difference in people.
You mentioned no strings attached, and that's a concept that's very new to those people. Talk about this no string attached kind of help.
Well, when we first came into the community with just an initial outreach, the little girls in their prairie dress would come up to the team as they were connecting that day and just loving the happiness and the joy and whatever they were giving away. They would say to our team that was there ministering, "Are you guys going to leave like everybody else?" And they expect you to come in because in the past, it's only documentaries have been done. That's why cameras and all the exposure has only been done for a hot selling story.
Right.
And the community does not want to be known for their past. Now we tell their past only to show how incredibly resilient and amazing these people are to come from this level of trauma and to be where they're at now. That's the only reason we share their past. But they are learning that we're not going anywhere. The Dream Center is there to stay. The food bank there is feeding 64% of the community in the town, making a difference. So we're not going anywhere. The directors of the Dream Center, Luke and Constance Meredith, are volleyball coaches. They've been invited in city council positions. They are literally being included as a part of the community.
And that's a big deal.
It's unheard of.
This is not the culture of that town.
We are accepted. We are being allowed to be one of them. Just the most gracious and loving group. They had to be exclusive before. They were forced to be exclusive. They didn't want to be exclusive, but they also didn't trust all of us who came in with raids and exposing through documentaries and videos. What good ever came of mixing what they call outsiders? This is really the first time. And the church and just being the hands and feet of Jesus and no strings attached love is what is breaking down the barriers and the walls of Short Creek.
Well, we've never talked about that. We've launched a campus, a Dream City Church campus in Short Creek.
Right.
That's a big deal. Can you talk about that?
It's very complex and complicated because religion is what abused them.
Yes.
So imagine trying to share the love of Jesus.
Yeah.
Their version of God and Jesus radically different, being FLDS.
Yeah.
It came straight from the prophet. There is no personal relationship. But we are so grateful to have a church that we're very careful not to mandate or push. The spirit of a person identifies when something is right and wrong, and when they run into right and they feel the real love of Jesus and it's a relationship, the spirit within them that was created by God identifies with what is right, and immediately it's like they wake up and say, all these years were wrong. And it doesn't take much for them to want to learn more and to know that we're not saved by works and who we are and having multiple children and getting to higher heaven. It is just a very simple gospel that we are able to share. And the first part of that gospel is just loving them, serving them, and then we can really share who Jesus is.
Have the people of the town gotten involved in the different initiatives? Like, are they serving at the food bank? Are they a part of the church serving? What are they doing?
I'm telling you, they love to serve at the food bank. That was the easiest for them because they see the difference it makes in the people economically who cannot afford healthy food. That we have truckloads of healthy food coming in has changed the nutritional aspect, which changes the mind. It changes everything. They serve at church. They come to the Dream Center and they are involved in outreaches. So it's amazing that the Prophet's House, that is now the Dream Center, the adults sometimes have a difficult time not seeing that as Warren Jeff's house. But the children have had such great interaction. There's fun, there's events, there's Christian movie nights and spa nights and all these fun things that we bring them into the house and create good memories. The children are like, Mom, Dad, there's the Dream Center. This is where fun is. This is where happiness is. This is where hope is. And the parents are like, oh yeah. You're right. So it's harder for the adults to forget the past, see the future, but the next generation is only seeing hope within the Dream Center.
That is so exciting. Well, there's different ways that people can get involved, right? They can give to the initiative. They can bring business opportunities is what we're learning. We're looking for business opportunities in Short Creek. And then you have missions trips that can come and be a part as well.
Just our website, shortcreekdreamcenter.org. You know, we have a fantastic mission house. Lots of groups can come in. The donate button is there. If you know, life is busy, I get it, but we are positioned there to serve, and we do need those resources. As we mentioned, we offer behavioral health counseling, equine therapy, even within our kitchen to offer culinary training and certifications. We use every part of that house to make sure it reestablishes a person into independence.
Well, these are one of the greatest causes that you could ever give to. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share.
Well, there is so much with the Short Creek Dream Center that you can give to, that you can be a part of. Go to shortcreekdreamcenter.org to find out what you can do to be a part of this amazing mission.